Premier and Minister for Finance, Dr. the Honorable D. Orlando Smith, OBE, Minister of Communications and Works, Honorable Mark Vanterpool, Assistant Secretary in the Ministry of Communications and Works, she was Haley Trott, she was here. Project team in the Ministry of Communications and Works, including the engineering consultant from FDL Consult Inc., members of the media, good morning. Today we are here to witness the signing of the contract for slope stabilization and drainage construction at Windy Hill between the government of the Virgin Islands and Outland Heavy Equipment Limited. Sorry, let me recognize also the contractor, Outland Heavy Equipment Limited, represented by Otley Crabb and Dion Crabb. The value of the contract is $1,741,000.91, and it has a stipulated duration of 270 days, exclusive of 1 year defects liability period. The scope of the works consists of demolition of existing pavement, construction of 2 reinforced concrete retaining walls, construction of box drains, cascading drains, and installation of culverts. We're happy that we can actually be at this stage. This contract signing marks the last contract to be signed, works contract to be signed under the redevelopment loan that was received from CDB in 2012. And so it has been a long road, but we have made it thus far, and we have one very important contract, which is this particular contract in the Windy Hill area to protect the lives of persons and property. So without further ado, I'd like to call the Minister of Communications and Works for his remarks.
Thank you, Dr. Glasgow. Premier, Crabbs, Otley and Dion Crabb of Outland Heavy Equipment, my team, our good faithful Ms. Juliet Penn, who notarizes these documents for us, and our good FDL group who've been supervising our project so well, as well as my CDB project team, represented here today, Mr. Smith, along with his supervisor, Ms. Haley Trott, who's not here, Dr. Glasgow, who's our CDB coordinator, press, my private secretary, Betsy, and the rest, Betsy Smith handling the rest of you. Thank you for being here. I joined the Honorable Premier on several occasions as we completed negotiations with local contractors to carry out rehabilitation works to our roads and bridges infrastructure over the past years. I am pleased, as Minister, to say that we have made great progress with these rehabilitation works, and government is eager to complete the remaining projects. To date, contracts have been signed in the amount of $13,034,916.96, $13,034,916.96, and out of the CDB project loan, this gives a balance of $2,144,054.75. 9 projects have already been completed. These include 1, the drainage solution and road rehabilitation works in Long Trench, along the Long Trench Road, drainage improvement and road rehabilitation in Fortune Gut, reconstruction of road and slope stabilization in Huntham's Gut, road and drainage improvement in Palestina, embankment stabilization and road reinstatement in Ballast Bay, installation of a retaining wall at Thomas Land, drainage improvement in Parham Town, drainage solution and road stabilization in Greenland, and construction of retaining walls and road rehabilitation in Nottingham Estate. There are 2 contracts for infrastructure works currently ongoing. These include the Lee Road contract in Virgin Gorda, the drainage solution and road rehabilitation, which is 90% complete as per the contract. However, the project has been put on hold until we resolve some land issues in extending the project a bit. Until these are resolved, we've put the project on hold. Hopefully soon we can complete it. And the second project that's ongoing is in the Horse Path area, which is the reconstruction of the road slope stabilization and drain construction at upper and the lower Horse Path, which has been completed according to contract, but additional works to the lower end is ongoing and is expected to be completed by November of this year. Initially, this contract that we speak about today was awarded to G-Unit Construction in the Windy Hill area. However, it was terminated in April 2017 due to several breaches, and based on this, the government decided to invoke Clause 56 of the general conditions of the contract. In July of 2017, the territory experienced a considerable amount of rainfall, which caused many significant landslides and undermining of the upper and lower roadways in this area. The project was at that time revisited by the engineering consultants FDL Consult Inc., and as a result, the scope of works was significantly altered by upgrading the drainage structures, the road, and retaining walls that we are to build. The project was retendered and has now been awarded to Otlon Heavy Equipment Company Limited in the amount, as stated earlier, of $1,741,091. A little more explanation of what the project consists, besides what Dr. Glasgow mentioned, is the general clearance of land along the route of the permanent works, disposal of unsuitable site arisings, demolition of an existing reinforced concrete road pavement, construction of 4 reinforced concrete cantilever retaining walls, construction of a reinforced concrete box drain along the upper and lower Windy Hill roads, construction of a reinforced concrete cascading box drain between the upper and the lower Windy Hill roads, installation of a reinforced concrete culvert along upper Windy Hill Road, and reconstruction of demolished sections of the road pavement. For the press, we will give you a copy of this after so you can save your fast writing. Otlon Heavy Equipment Company has successfully completed similar projects for the government, and we are confident that they will remember the high quality standards that they are accustomed to and that is required. In fact, we are very proud of this team in that they have done some very difficult jobs for us and have done them very successfully, on time, in fact, before time many times, and on budget. If I go through the 9 projects you mentioned earlier, you will be aware that they've done quite a few of them and done them very well. I want to commend them today for the good work, and we have full confidence, and I'm sure the CDB team also has full confidence that they will complete this project in a similar manner. As Minister for Communication and Works, I express gratitude to my colleagues in government, especially our Premier Minister of Finance. I compliment my staff, my permanent secretary, and the team in the ministry, and on these particular projects headed by Ms. Haley Trott and Mr. Smith, and also to all of the contractors and teams involved in the successful execution of these CDB loan-funded projects to date. We all would have liked to see them happen much faster, but we are happy that they're happening and happening in the proper manner. We expect to see all of these projects completed very soon to the benefit of the residents and visitors of our beautiful Virgin Islands. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. One thing I would like to point out to add to the minister's remarks. The Outland Heavy Equipment being the successful winner of this tender, it actually went through a full tender process where tenders were sent out as per CDB specs, national competitive bidding, and they were received, they were fully evaluated, and the contractor emerged as the winning bidder. So it's one thing that we have to keep in mind as the minister, he noted the development of the contractor over the years going through these projects, and they have actually had more than one contract, actually won more than one contract. I remember the first contract, a tender that they submitted a bid for, and if you compare that tender to what they are doing now, there has been development as it relates to CDB. And so one of the things that we want to encourage at the Ministry of Finance is that once we have prepared our contractors, local contractors, we want to equip them with the necessary skill set to be able to tender not just in the BVI, but throughout the region. So with that, we will move on to the contract signing. After that, we will have brief remarks by the contractor, and then a moment, about 15 minutes for questions and answer. And then we would have a photo opportunity. Okay, thank you. Contracts are signed, and of course, our process is that it be notarized and then properly registered to become a legal document. So let me now invite a representative from the contractor, Mr. Dion Crabb, to give his brief remarks.
Good morning, everyone. We've been on this road before, so I'll keep it as brief as possible. I'd like to extend a special thanks to the government and the CDB for having the opportunity to bid on these projects again. I now feel like when we were in college and you have that last class, so I feel like this is our last class before graduation. So I hope the project manager takes it easy on us with the marking. But no, man, if someone told me we needed to present a financial on the first project starting, I would actually feel a crazy man. But now understanding the process and where we were and where we are, it has to feel like a graduation. So like I say, once again, a special thanks to the CDB for allowing our company to move from where we were to, I would say, a regional level now when it comes to competing on bids. Thanks.
Thank you, Dion. And so we now invite the media to ask questions. We have about 15 minutes for that.
I think Dr. Glasgow said in the beginning, but I didn't write it down fast enough. What's the timeline associated with the project?
So it's 270 days,
270 days.
and then there's a 1-year effects liability period.
And when do you hope to commence?
Stipulated contract date is 14 days after signing.
14 days after signing. And just a question for the contractors, have you guys had to swell your numbers in the last 12 months, given, I imagine, the increase in workload, not just from government, but from across the board?
Be a little bit more specific when you say swell your numbers.
Have you had to hire a lot more people in the last 12 months?
No, I would say we have a solid crew.
Yeah.
To answer your question, I would say not necessarily. I would say we have a solid crew, and we tend to keep the guys that we have and just move them from project to project. So timing is key with these projects. And based on the time on getting this project done, I think we're in a comfortable position.
So your workforce today is about equivalent to what it was like September 5th of last year?
It has increased a bit, but not too much.
So thank you so much. We will have a photo op, Minister.